And here we are again, gathered here today to talk about the upcoming special, Revolution of the Daleks. We have all mostly seen the trailer now, so we kinda know a significant amount more about how this episode is going to pan out, but even now, we don't know the full truth about it, and we definitely won't until January the 1st hits. And whilst that feels like it's a little while away, and I do mean understandably so, we do still have Christmas to get through, at the time of recording anyway, that simply means that there's just more time to talk about it. I made a video a couple of months ago or so about my hopes for Revolution of the Daleks before the trailer had even been announced, before Jack's return had been revealed, before we even know, basically, jack squat about it, except the fact that the Daleks were obviously involved, thanks to the title. But now that we've seen the trailer, and we know what we know now, I think it's only fair to give it another go, because the game really has completely changed. So without further ado, here are my 5 new hopes for Revolution of the Daleks. Number 1. The Daleks are cunning. A rather underappreciated element of the Daleks is their ability to be devilishly manipulative when the time calls for it, and they know the score. They're not just furious and murderous all the time, they actually have something of a very vicious way of thinking, and given that these Daleks seem to be in the way of acting like defense drones for the British government, I think it's only fair to hope that the Daleks are acting like this to gain favour and infiltration with the government until their needs are met. I don't believe that Robinson would have had these Daleks made without some outer involvement from someone alien, or at the very least, someone pulling the strings, like a Supreme Dalek or something. In some ways, this plot point is very reminiscent of Victory of the Daleks, where the Brits were tricked into allowing the Ironside Daleks behind their lines despite how nefarious their real goals were. They were just that good at deceiving them. So this could be another case of that, and if it is, then I will welcome it, because I love it when the Daleks get into the nitty-gritty of what they have to do. It just gives them that much more depth, especially when we deal with individual Daleks like we did in Dalek and Into the Dalek. It's something different, man. Something different. Number 2. Graham and Ryan's departure is peaceful. Alas, we all know about the fact that Bradley and Tosin are leaving the show. It makes sense, really. Tosin's got a new job on a USA show, and Bradley films around 200 episodes of The Chase per series, now amongst other things as well. So schedules are really tight, that's for sure. In fact, I honestly consider it a miracle that we've managed to have him for so long, and the fact that Graham and Ryan are family makes it all the more sensible that they are leaving together. But the question is, how are they going to leave? And that's the bit that concerns me. As I really do not want these two to bite the dust, if you get what I mean. I don't want there to be any Bradley Walsh-shaped corpses in front of a Dalek. The thing is, this episode has been billed as sad and emotional, with shocks and all, and boy oh boy, that generally implies that there's going to be a heartbreaking reason. All I genuinely want from the episode in this respect is to give these two lovely characters a good send-off that leaves the door open for a potential return. I really don't want one of them to be killed and for the other to be living in guilt, because while that concept is pretty cool if handled well, I don't necessarily think that these are the two characters who would benefit from such an ending, considering Grace's departure and the resulting guilt and trauma that Graham and Ryan had to experience as well. It would just seem sadistic. Going into Series 13 and having Yaz and the Doctor having to deal with their deaths and the guilt resulting from that would be just so much of a tonal change. Even though Chibnall was already promised more fun adventures for Series 13, so I doubt that's going to happen, but still, it would be quite heavy. So all in all, I hope for an ending for them more along the lines of Martha Jones. Like they've seen the sights of the universe, but now they feel they have a duty to their own world. And may they certainly accomplish it. But indeed, we'll see how it turns out. It's wise to take nothing for granted. Number 3. Captain Jack and the Doctor get decent screen time together. I think what a great deal of fans have been hoping for ever since Captain Jack returned in Fugitive of the Jadoon is for him to have a decent amount of screen time with the Doctor. Not just meter, but have a decent amount of screen time. Now, admittedly, this is starting to look a bit jammy. What we do know of the episode is that the Doctor is going to spend a significant amount of the episode potentially of it locked up and desperate to get out. The tally charts on the walls may be testament to that. Now, it is certainly an interesting concept, but is it necessarily ideal? No. But it does build up to what will be a legendary reunion between the Doctor and Jack after 10 years since his last appearance in The End of Time Part 2, and his last proper conversation with the Doctor 12 years ago in Journey's End. I mean, when you look back, Jack was an incredibly important character in the RTD era. He was an integral part in 3 out of 4 finales, had his own show that ran for 4 series, and was generally a presence, and I mean that with a capital P. If Chibnall is bringing a new era of Jack to the table, then the connection he has with the 13th Doctor has got to be strong right off the bat. Which would be curious given that from her perspective it's been well over 1,000 years since she last properly met him, but she clearly remembers him as we saw in Fugitive of the Jadoon. Good memory. So this needs to be an iconic meeting, and they better have a good exchange, and maybe a hug. Just let 13 hug someone for Christ's sake. Number 4. We explore the prison and the change in the 13th Doctor. Now, from the trailer, we can see that this particular prison that the Doctor has been incarcerated in contains many factors of a rogue's gallery. There is a Reaping Angel, a Bating, many more. It seems to be a real Rikers Island kind of situation, which is certainly interesting. Whether it's Stormcage or Sharda or whatever, I don't know. And I certainly want to see more of it. Even if it's in the form of a montage, I want to see what a life in prison is like for the Doctor. What a single day is like, being forced into captivity like this after travelling for so long. I mean, when you really look at it, it is certainly fascinating for a concept at least. The 13th Doctor at the start was probably the most optimistic Doctor of the new series, the lightest, the most, at least outwardly, happy. But over the course of Series 12, she was broken down, beaten, had her entire past turned upside down. She has been through a lot, and I do mean a lot, with a capital L, because again, she has really taken some rather undeserved L's. I guess what I would quite like is a deeper look into the psychology of this Doctor at this point in her life, where everything may seem utterly hopeless, and she despairs for her own lack of freedom after spending so long having just got it back after spending all that time on Trenzalore. Because, whichever way you look at it, the 11th Doctor no doubt spent more time there than the 12th and 13th Doctor's entire lifespans up to this point put together, but at least he had a lot more liberty than she does. But then again, the 12th Doctor had his own imprisonment. Now how long did he truly experience in there? Was it simply a couple of weeks? Or was it the entire 4.5 billion years? Either way, it sucks to be 13 right now. But it can also be a tale of hope. As she says, people are waiting for her. This is either a message or her trying to motivate herself, I don't really know. But the important thing is that she has some kind of hope to keep her going, which will most likely be her team. The first faces her face saw. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to. And number 5, and finally, that the episode lives up to the expectations that it has set for itself. This episode has put forth a lot of ideas it needs to handle in its 70-minute runtime. 2 companions leaving, a Doctor in captivity and needing to escape, the reintroduction of a popular character from a previous era and his reunion with the Doctor, the Daleks hatching another master plan, all in 70 minutes. All of these ideas could have been used as concepts on their own to form the basis of other ideas for other episodes, but they're all being done here. So I'm just praying and hoping that this won't all be a case of too many ideas, but not enough time to develop them, as it seems like the most ambitious special that we've probably had since Time of the Doctor, which similarly had to cover a lot of ground in a short time. Naturally, I'm just going to tune in with hope, and we'll see what happens on the day. I'm keeping some optimism with me for sure, because I'm really looking forward to it. It really does look good. And if nothing else, we'll get some good fan service out of it at least. Anyway, those are my new hopes for Revolution of the Daleks. What are your own thoughts on it? Are you looking forward to it, and what do you think is going to happen? Do you have any concerns about it? And what are you most excited for? And like me, are you just hoping the Daleks wreck stuff up? I certainly am. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, for all the DW 2012 fans out there, be sure to check out the all-new audio drama, Merry Christmas, Megan Williams. It is this year's Christmas special for the Purple Doctor and Megan Williams. We are hoping to bring you the new series in 2021 as soon as the Pan D is calmer. We'll do our best. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, see ya!